Hey, I'm Jake from TradeLab.ai, and we're going to go over this week's updates for the middle of June. So the first thing we're going to do is talk about some changes to the UI. We made some updates to the dashboard, mainly just this Did You Know has moved. So the Did You Know is now in the education page. It's down here. So if you did like that or wanted to read it, you can see it. But I replaced that with a bunch of videos, so that should be easier to use. Did want to talk about the TradeLab testnet. Testnet is up. It is taking signups for new accounts. You do have to sign up a separate account in order to use the testnet. It is a completely separate website. You will come in here and set up your exchanges just like you did before. I suggest only running testnet exchanges on the testnet, but that's up to you, I guess. Really, the goal here is just for you to be running some strategies, having them execute, and having those orders send on this testnet here is going to allow me to make sure that we don't have any bugs as I'm working on things end up getting pushed to the main platform and messing people up, right? While we're in the testnet, after you get signed up and get your exchanges set up, there's a Migrate Strategies button. You can click on this and it will help you migrate your strategies. It's going to copy all the strategies from the main website and put it into the testnet. So I have my strategy here. So some other things that we've been working on. I did add quite a few little things here and there, so we'll just go over those here real quick. In the builder, there's some new features. They're a little bit advanced. We'll go over them. All right. So if I go and create a new strategy and I'm creating my alerts and my rules, I've already went in here, created my alerts, and I have my custom alert that I'm going to come in here and say like type, right, and say that this is buy. Okay. Now that's what I would normally do. Let's say that I'm sending a particular alert that we can't edit it, and we're not going to break it apart with the parser. So somebody came to me and said, hey, I got this alert and I just need to know if it says this or if it says this, and it's going to come in as text. So one thing I added here was the alert text. So if you do send a alert that isn't JSON and we can't break it down, it'll end up as alert text. So if you send like buy, long or something, and you want to make sure that it's equal to buy long, you could do that. Now, if it says buy long, blah, 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 and you don't know what it's going to say, but you want it to know that it says buy long inside of that piece of text, instead of doing equal to, you can now do includes. So now if the text includes this text here, it'll work. Okay? So that's one thing that I added. Some other things I added in the actions. I added a few actions here. So we have absolute, round, floor, and ceiling. These are math actions that just allow you to do normal math things. So absolute would make any negative or any number a positive. If it's negative, it becomes a positive. If it's positive, it stays a positive. Absolute makes everything a positive. Round obviously makes things negative, or rounds things up or down based on the middle point of 5 or 0.5, right? So we're gonna round. Floor rounds everything down, even if it's 0.9, it'll be round down. Ceiling makes everything go up, even if it's 0.1, it'll be rounded up. Okay. So that's what those do. We also have some new actions in the exit rules. So if if you've ever noticed, the exit rules have several actions that you can't do in the entry rules. And these are things like increase position, decrease position, place limit orders, that sort of stuff. We've also added the swing order. So it used to be that you had to create this weird sort of loop system. Using a rule timer, you can run another rule. So I could basically have it say, okay, I'm going to close my order, right? And then if I wanted to open another order, I would make a rule timer. I'd make it wait like 10 seconds or something. And then I would make it run another rule, maybe my entry rule that places an order, and get it to sort of flip sides, right? So instead of doing that, we also used to use two different strategies, a long strategy and a short strategy side by side. And we would turn hedge mode on. And so since they were side by side, they could sort of, sit next to each other and do their jobs without stepping on each other, right? Or having to wait for each other. So those are the two ways we used to do swing trading. Now we just have this simple swing order. When you hit a swing order, what it does is it sends one order, and it's a sell. Like if I'm doing a long, it would be a sell order, right? That would close the order, but it doubles the amount. So, and it's not a reduce only. So normally I would send a reduce only that would say, hey, if I only have a position open of 10 and I send a reduce only of 20, it's just going to close it. But without that reduce only, if I send a position of 20 and I only have an order of 20 and I only have a position of 10 open, it's going to take out that 10 and then go on the other side and open 10, right? And so that's going to allow us to swing back and forth. Okay. So we have that built in. This is new. I think I've had one or two people look at it. But if you do have issues with it, let me know and we'll take a look. Feel like there's been a couple other things. There's been a lot of small things I feel like that I've shoved in here, just based on talking to people. But all in all, we did have an issue with limit offset, placing an exact limit offset. I had fixed that, so that should be working now. Yep. So I think that is the majority of the things that I want to go over. There, we'll just take a look real quick at the roadmap to see where we are. So, and I need to do a little bit of work on the backlog here of trying to keep up with the tickets. There's several tickets that I'm sure I've already completed and I haven't moved over yet. But right now, I am deep in the weeds with the builder. And I had fallen behind just a little bit, all transparency aside. And last weekend and this weekend, I've tried to put my head down. So if I didn't get to any of your questions, or if you felt like I was slower this week, that's why. I've been trying to concentrate and get some things done with development. I have gotten a good amount done. So if we want to take a quick preview, this is the testnet. And if you click on the builder, it says we're currently testing a new builder. If you click on this, this is what it was looking like. And this is sort of what I got done last week. And then this week I've been working on it, and it's looking more like this now. Still a long way to go. I got a bar that I'm adding at the top. And that bar is going to also contain layout options so that you can either have it like this, or you can have these rules doubled up, sort of like we used to. And then that'll allow you to either have entry rules side by side and then exit rules below, or we could have entry rules on the left side and exit rules on the right side. in here. If you have a wide enough screen, it shouldn't be an issue, right? But I'm going to have this as the default because now we can properly support, those smaller screens. And I've tried to spend some time making sure that this is going to, look halfway decent. So on the sidebar here, we have trade settings, we have our alerts, we have our variables. All of this stuff will be able to, or most of it, like the alerts and the variables, you'll be able to drag these out. And so if I'm dealing with this and I want to do a strategy variable, I could just find my variable here, drag it to this field, and it would say custom alert equals, symbol equals whatever field I dragged, right? So you can drag fields in, or you can click on them. I got this working now. So, for example, I have this symbol, and if I change it, you can see it changing in the background. Take, stop, take them out. I can also change the different categories that we have. So everything should be more organized. If you want to search for something, you can search for whatever you want, and it will categorize them for you so that you can see which is which. One other thing that's going to be in the top bar is a simple mode. So you'll see that I have the categories listed here. I think that these are very helpful to understand what you're actually doing. But we can also turn on simple mode, and we'll get rid of the categories so that we can just say type equals long entry message. And if you know what you're doing at that point, then I guess it's not really simple. I guess it would be more of an event. You got to know what you're doing, right? But it makes it look simpler. And that would be good for like mobile phones or something like that. Speaking of mobile, I don't mention this much. I do have a mobile app that I've worked on once in a while in the background, and that is coming, a more dedicated app to monitor things. I don't really plan on having too much focus on the builder in the app, or even focusing on making this builder super mobile friendly. I'm not sure that it will be, but I'll do a little bit of work and try to make it usable. But yeah, so that's where we're at there. The builder, it's getting there. It's going to take a little bit. Along with this is coming modules. So I've actually done the modules on the back end already. And so I have to do quite a bit of work for the UI, but the modules are on their way, and they're coming. You'll have like a module library over here. That'll be the list of modules. And yeah, so I mentioned that you could drag variables. You can also drag alerts. But the cool thing about that is you could drag an alert to a field. But I also want to make you, or let you drag an alert just into empty space. If you do that, it will take all the fields in the alert and make them conditions and make you a rule automatically. Right? So it's like a shortcut. Right? So I'm actually playing around with that right now this weekend, getting that together. But again, it won't look like this. I'm still working on the visuals. But this does give you a better idea of where it's going. So there's that. So modules is coming along. NLP, still working on that once in a while. That's natural language processing. That's for the AI stuff that's going on way in the future. Market climate shaper. So this is the market shaper engine, and I am just about ready with this. I just need people to come together and help me decide what we're going to do for the composite metrics. So in order to create the market climate shaper, I've created a system that can generate a graph like this and basically generate a shape based on the market. Okay, and the market sentiment will give you some sort of shape, and that will then be used against your strategies. And what we can do is say, okay, we'll run the strategies on the symbol with the shape, and this strategy didn't do so well. So make a note of that and don't run it with the shape anymore. Or, hey, this strategy did really well and it works well with the shape, so run it next time. We can do that over time, learn about your strategies, collect that knowledge, And then once we learn enough, we can start turning on your strategies on and off automatically based on, what strategies work with what shapes, right? And so the way that this works, though, the important part of the shape is that I can't just put like volume, velocity, RSI or some random technicals here. It has to be some meaningful things. So an example of that would be like, say, I want to do volume, but I wouldn't just do volume. I might take an average volume. I might do something like that, but I could also take the volume and weight it against certain things, such as the time of, I could weight it against the day of the week, or I could weight it against the day of the month, or both. So that way, if I have the exact same volume on a Monday at the beginning of the month, I could have the exact same volume on Thursday in the middle of the month, or another Monday in the middle of the month, and it would give me a different value here, right? So that value for that volume, we could make it different, even if it's the same volume. But because we're getting a time reference, a contextual time, right? So that's just one idea. There's plenty of different ways to create composites, and what I'm asking for right now is that I want to build a group of traders who are confident in themselves and can help me figure out what that math would be, what those composites would be, so that we can produce this new tool for everybody. Okay. So if you're interested in that, please let me know. My DMs are always open. You guys know that you can always find me here on Discord. So let me know there. Back to the roadmap, and I'm just wrapping this up here. The plugin system, we do have a Discord and a Telegram bot coming. It's taking a little bit longer. I wanted to get some people from the outside to help. I had somebody who was trying to make us a Discord bot. I haven't heard from him. I could do it. I just, there's so many things that I got to do. Same thing with Miles. He could do it. I got him tasked on several other things. So if you do want to help, or if you know somebody who could help, let me know, and we can figure that out. So yeah, we are looking to go live somewhere around August, either the beginning or the end of August. I haven't made the announcement if it's the beginning or the end of August. So that's the difference between the first subscription, charge would be either the 1st of August or the 1st of September. So I'll figure that out. And of course you can, as soon as it goes live, you can use free. And if you want to continue to use free for several days and then turn it on when you get paid or whatever the case, then your subscription would start on the 7th or the 14th or what, the 10th, whatever day that you start, right? So the more that I say, here's a hint, guys, the more that I say either the beginning or the end of August, the more it might be the end of August. Okay. I've given myself plenty of room, and I told you that I was a little bit nervous about me getting behind. I am very deadline oriented as a developer. I take it very seriously. So, and I'm pretty hard on myself. So the fact that I was getting worried, I do that sort of preemptively, right? And I also gave myself quite a bit of time. So I do think I'm on track. I got a lot done. I'm continuing to get a lot done. And so it might even be at the beginning of August, but we'll see, right? So that's where we're at there. For those who don't understand, what do you mean it's free? What's going on? We do have our pricing listed on our homepage. If you scroll down, this is the pricing right here. Again, after August, when we start taking subscriptions, it is free. You can still use it for free. If you are a beta user and you're using a exchange right now, you can continue to use that exchange. We're going to cut you down to one exchange. If you're using 5, we're going to ask you which one you want to keep, and then all the others are going to go away. Okay, and you use one exchange. Most of the time, if you weren't in beta everybody who signs up after we go live, if you want to use free, you have to sign up to whatever exchange of your choice with our referral code. That's the price of free. It's still free to you. It's not any more fees or anything like that. But obviously, it keeps us going with the server and all that. So that helps there. But with beta, you don't have to worry about that, right? Is what I'm saying. So if you do want to, create another exchange, you don't worry about that, or you're not worried about it, and you want to give us the referral, that's great, guys. I would love it, right? But we're not gonna force all the beta users out and make their referral exchanges. That's just sort of the thank you for helping us. Okay. So there's that. One thing I just want to mention while I got the prices up here is that the Pro plan and the free plan have the same features. Every single thing that you've been using is part of the free plan. And if you upgrade to Pro, you really don't get any other new features right now. Maybe in the future, right? I'm probably going to add some things that will only be Pro, but everything that you've seen here is the basics, right, of what TradeLab is, and you get all the basics, all the power that you've seen. It's all built in. So the only main thing that's different between free and Pro is the amount of trades that you can make at one time. That is not a daily limit. There is no technical daily limit on how many trades you can make. The limit is you can only have 2 trades open at one time. Okay. So yeah. If you want to, if that's not enough, you can upgrade. You can do 6 trades open for $80 or unlimited for our Pro. Okay. I think that is the end of the spiel. Okay, what's that?
Hey, yeah, this is JP. Are we going to have to sign up for a year term in order to get that $199 a month, or can we pay monthly?
No. No, so this is actually the monthly price, $199, and I don't have any yearly prices posted. I used to, and I'll probably have to recalculate them, but I think we normally do like a 15% or maybe a 20%. Well, I'll figure it out with the yearly. So you'll get some. I think the first time we did this, it was like $169 or $159 right or something like that. When you did it yearly, right? So yeah, there is a discount. I don't have that set up. If you guys are interested in doing yearly stuff right off the bat, I was more interested in getting the monthly prices up, and I was probably going to put a yearly up pretty soon after. But if you guys are going to want to buy a yearly on day one, let me know, and I'll make sure it's available. Right? I wasn't really expecting that, but it is what it is. So we'll figure that out.
Well, I was more or less thinking, I was just trying to make sure that this wasn't like advertising math here, where actually it's $250 a month.
No, no, it's fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, we don't do that here.
No, I'm pretty customer, pro customer, right? I'm a big, I'm a customer in my life more than I am a business owner. Maybe when I get, in 10 years, I'll feel differently because I've owned businesses so much, right? But I'm a big customer advocate just because it's, that's how I want to be treated. So I wouldn't do that. Yeah. Anyway, that's the end of my spiel. Let's go ahead and switch over to questions. How you guys doing? Don't all start at once. Does anybody have any problems lately? I know that we've been talking quite a bit on the chat, and I've helped people, as we've gone on. Everybody saw the announcement, right? I made an announcement that I did screw up a couple things on both the ABC from David Tech and also the generic buy and sell template. Okay, so if you guys were using, I'm pulling it up on my screen now. What's going on? It's a little slow. Oh, silly me. I redid this screen. So if you guys haven't seen this, the community strategies now looks like this. And somebody requested a list screen. So if you press this button up here, you have a list and you can see all the community strategies in a list. We used to have really big cards. It was hard to scroll through. Now it's a lot easier to see with the nice pictures. And if you click on this, you'll get the same card that we used to have. Okay, so if you click, then you can copy or whatever it is that you want to do. So the generic buy and sell template, and also the smarter money ABC. Both of these you need to remove from your strategies and then recopy them, please. There was a small issue that I had with that, and I have fixed it. For anybody wondering or trying to learn about all the rules and stuff, let me show you real quickly what my mistake was. So the issue was that, or like with what people were seeing was that orders were sort of placing all over the place. Mainly that it would open like a long and then it would just never close, and it would have a long open and it might even place multiple longs. And then a short might come in and it would place an order, but it still wouldn't be short. And it was just very, very confusing. Well, that was because I forgot these two conditions. So these two conditions, this is on my long exit and short exit rules. And this condition just says, if I'm doing a long exit, make sure that whatever, if I hear an alert and it comes through, make sure that I'm only running this rule if I'm in a long, right? Because this strategy works for long and short. So I could have opened either a long or a short. And we don't want to run both of these rules at all times. We just want to run this one when we're in a long and this one when we're in a short. Because I didn't have these conditions, these were always running. And so every buy and sell signal that you got while you were in a trade, it was trying to close the order. The problem is if you close an order on the other side of where you are, it ends up increasing the order. Right? And so that was one of the issues that we had. Seems to be working better now, and people are having better results. So if you guys have any questions about that, let me know. Yeah. So how's everybody else doing? We have any...
I'm fantastic. Thanks for asking, Jake.
We usually like to do like a workshop. Like we pick a certain subject. If you guys are having trouble, maybe like a take profit stop loss, doing multiple TPSL, or perhaps moving lines or doing something like that. If anybody has any issues, anything that they want to see.
I mean, I've been great. I mean, excellent. I did have a question earlier, but since I'm old, Jake, I forgot.
How about global variables, Jake? I've started to implement those so that, like if the overall trend of the market is down, and that I'll only place shorts, on a strategy that is a dual strategy, looking at shorts and longs, but it'll only play the short side, and how to go about changing that variable using an alert like on the global market cap. Make sense?
Yes. Before we go forward, explain to me the very last part about the global market cap. So you're getting an alert about some market cap, and then you're going to change this global variable?
Yeah, I need to be able to change that global variable. So, what I'm using is I like to use the 821 as an indicator of whether the market on the daily of whether the market is bullish or bearish, and the actual currency or ticker symbol that I'm using is crypto cap. It is the global market cap. And so, when it crosses down on the 1 day, I'm sending that alert over to essentially a strategy within TradingView, and that strategy is setting the global variable to either true or false. And false, I guess my variable is called global market cap bullish, true or false. So if it's technically bearish, I set it to false, and then I can use that to tell my strategies that are multi strategies, dual strategies up and down, to only take one direction. Just kind of nice. So then if the global market cap changes bullish, all my strategies will flip automatically and then start taking longs and discard the shorts and not do those.
Gotcha. Yep. So to give an example of that, I've switched over to another account, and we'll go ahead and show you how to do something like that. So what are you doing? It just must have been, okay. All right. So what we want to do is we want to set up what I call like a commander strategy. So if you have multiple strategies running and they're for different symbols, and they're all listening for this global variable, that's great. You're going to have to send an alert that tells this global variable to change. And you're going to have some strategy running that is listening for that alert and has a rule that can make that change to the global variable. Okay, and if you have 5 strategies that are running with your symbols, you could pick one of those 5 and add an extra alert, I guess, add an extra rule to listen for that alert, and just as long as that's always running and it was on entry and exit on both sides, then no matter if that strategy was in a trade or not, that rule would run and your global variable would change, right? That's a little funky. So what I like to suggest is that you create what I call a commander strategy. A commander strategy is a strategy that's blank. So we hit new. And on this, I got something running that's slowing down my machine. But excuse me. Okay, so we could call this the commander strategy. And this commander strategy doesn't need a symbol, doesn't need an exchange. It doesn't need any of that. We can save it, and that will create these tabs at the top. We can go to our alerts tab, and we can create an alert. And for you might have an alert that's like, global update or something. And I don't know if you're trying to change like a true or a false variable. If you are, that'd be even easier. But let's just say that you have some sort of global price that you are sending. It's going to be a number. And it's going to come in through TradingView, and you got a plot that you're sending or whatever, and it's just going to be called like global, right? And it's going to be sending. Maybe it's actually the open and close So maybe it's the close bar price of wherever you're sending it from, right? And you send it maybe every bar, and that would be once either a day or once an hour or whatever, and that updates the global price. So you send that, you would say that the type is global update, right? And remember, type is more like an alert name, right? So I'm just naming this to tell me I'm going to be receiving tons of different alerts, and I need to know what alert is trying to do what, right? So the type gives me an idea of what this alert is supposed to be doing. So the global update, and again, I don't need a symbol or an interval. I could even delete these, it just really depends. You don't have to fill them out, and you don't have to delete them. If you delete them and you're using these with another, like this is on your alert template, right? So if you delete these, it removes it from the alert template, which means it removes it from all of the other alerts that use this template. If you're not familiar with what I just said, don't delete these. Just don't fill them out, and it'll be fine. Okay, you don't really have to worry about it. And if you want to learn what I just said, there's 2 different videos on alert templates that sort of explain. They're a little bit of an advanced concept. They're really not that hard. But I just try to hide them in the background to just skip a step for most people. Okay. So here's the global price. We got the global price sending. If I press save, we got an alert with the global price. So we'll go back to edit, and this commander strategy is never going to place an order. So I really don't have to worry about any of my exit rules. It's only ever going to run these. And what I want it to do is I want to update my global price, update the global rice. Okay, update the price, and we'll do custom alerts. And I want to make sure that the alert that I get in has the type of global update, right? That's what I said earlier in my alert builder, global update. Okay. So if I get that, I know that it's going to have that value in it, global price. That's going to give me that number. And what I want to do is I want to set it to my global variable, right? So let's press save. Make sure that this is nice and saved. Man, I need to look at what's going on with my interwebs.
Maybe one of those 50 apps you're running.
Yeah. All right. So if we go over to global variables, we have a list of variables here. If I press plus, I can say we'll say global global price. This. Come on. Okay. Make this a number because we're going to be doing math with it in this example. Again, if you wanted to do like a simple true false to say, hey, the price is up or the price is down, you could do that. But we're going to make this a number. I don't have to set it because we're going to set it with our rules, right? So don't worry about writing a number in there. We'll just press save right here. Wait for my very slow computer. So we have our commander strategy. We have global update. I have created a global variable. So if I do set global variable, my global price, if we want to set it to a number, I can just type in the number. But we want to set it to what I'm passing in my alert. So we'll say reference field. That turns this to a drop down. And we'll say, what did I put in my alert? I said global. I said global price. It was like that. There, global price. So now we have global price. It is set. We're setting it there. And now this strategy can just sit here and run separately from everything and just update the global price. If you have other things that need to be happening, you can put it all in your commander strategy, right? A commander strategy is also good for, say I have a free account. The free account can only have 6 strategies. That's one of the limitations. But I don't really mention that's a limitation, because if you know how to use TradeLab, you don't need 6 strategies. I'm giving you double what you need, because if you have a commander strategy and you know that you can only use 2 active trades, then you know that you only can have 2 strategies that are in a trade at one time. So if you use 3 strategies, 2 worker strategies, and 1 commander strategy, instead of looking at this, like if you look at 6 strategies, you would think, oh, I can only listen to 6 symbols. No. If you could have 2 of your worker strategies and they don't even know what symbol they are. They could sit blank, and be like, I don't know what symbol I am. And your commander strategy could be listening for 40 symbols, right? And when it hears the symbol that it wants, it can say, hey, this is a good signal, and I'm going to set my global variable for strategy worker number 1. I'm going to set the symbol to this symbol. And, I would make a variable. It would be a string, and I would say set global worker 1 symbol to the symbol that I got from my alert, right? And now in my worker 1, once it hears that symbol is no longer blank, I can have a rule in worker 1 that says if symbol is not blank, then set symbol to symbol. And then in my entry price, I say, hey, if I have a symbol and I'm ready to go, place an order, right? And now you would put all of your exit logic over in your workers, right? And your commander would continue to listen for entries. And
you can't give up all your secrets, brother.
What's that?
You can't give up all your secrets. Then no one's going to go for the subscription. Don't give up all your secrets.
Oh, no. Well, no. You still have to, you still can only have 2 trades open. You can't get around that.
That's right? The most important thing is the trades.
Yeah. But I am showing people that if you know what you're doing, you can, and also technically speaking, it's a little bit of a flub what I'm saying, because you could listen to 40 symbols, and if you have the right TradingView strategy that only sends signals for when you should really buy for that symbol, you could have 40 symbols running and get a few trades in, and that would be totally fine. But if you're trying to send a ton of different alerts for every symbol and blah, 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 you only get 300 alerts a day for free. Yeah. Right? So like if you do what I say and you stay under your alerts, you're not hurting me. And it's super powerful for you, and that's great. And you will want more power eventually, probably, if you did.
A prime example of this. Yeah, a prime example of this. I'm not going to name names, but if you know, you know. We have a user here who's very advanced with trading, right? He's pretty much a professional trader, and he has a strategy that works for him. He's been using it for years. He has multiple strategies that work. He was able to replicate himself pretty much to a T with a little bit of changes. But my point is he tests it on 2 symbols, and it goes great, right? And he's good on profit, but now he's up to 8 symbols, 9 symbols, and he's, in the last 2 days seen a 4,000% gain. So if you're really trading and really moving, that 2 active trade limit is really going to limit your profit.
Yeah. So, just because. Yeah. So, all right. Did that answer the question about global variables?
Yeah, that was insightful. Thank you very much, Jake.
Awesome.
I think a lot of times people don't realize that a strategy doesn't necessarily have to place a trade or enter a trade.
Yes. And really, like, that's the thing about TradeLab is, like, I have a lot of nicknames for stuff, like a combo strategy or a commander strategy. You could have a DCA strategy, right? Or a rolling take profit. All of those, there's no separate modes. You don't have to do anything special. Like my combo strategy is just a strategy that has rules that can do buy and sell, right? Like my commander strategy is just a strategy that happens not to have an action that places an order. It's meant to send messages in between. strategies. So
Really, honestly, instead of using strategy, you may as well consider it more of like a worker or a task.
so let's talk about that real quick. This is not something that's happening before August because I simply don't have time. But this is something that I'm hoping to get done maybe by the end of the year. It's a change and overhaul to how we approach strategies and bots in general. It's not a huge change. It won't cause any, big. You don't have to relearn anything. But what I'm going to try to do is instead of having my strategies, it'll be like strategy templates. Right. I might even take the word strategy completely out.
Tasks.
Call it like bot templates or something. Okay. But let's just say strategies, right? And I'm going to say you have a strategy template and you would go in and you would copy from community strategies, whatever, or make whatever you want. And you would come in here and you would fill everything out, but you wouldn't fill out exchange or symbol. You would fill everything else out, but you wouldn't fill out exchange or symbol. You'd put in all of your rules. And then you would hit a button that says generate bots. So your strategies aren't bots. Your strategies are templates. Your bots are what place orders. That's what runs your rules, right? And so I'm going to make strategies generate bots. And the whole idea behind that is that I can make a strategy, make it once, say generate, how many bots you want to generate? I want to generate 20 bots for these 20 symbols. Boom. Right? And then if I want to make a change, fine. I make a change to the template, remove my 20 bots, make another 20 bots with these new changes. You know what I mean? And that's how we will manage that. It'll be a whole lot easier to trade on multiple symbols. Of course, you might need to change your leverage or your trade amount or some things on a bot. I'm going to keep that in mind. So that's why this isn't like a super simple thing. It's not just as simple as, oh, hey, generate me, copies of something. There's some things I got to do, but hopefully we'll get that done by the end of the year. And I hope, that's something that people have been sort of asking for is how do we make this simpler? I don't want to have to copy everything, so I hope that'll help.
I think we should get away from the word bots too. I think workers and tasks.
Could be. I don't want to confuse people though. I mean, the idea. I mean, here's the main thing: is that we can't make your own trade worker, make your own tasks on YouTube. Nobody will click on it, right? Yeah. They're looking for bots, and if they're looking for bots, and then they get here, and all of our stuff is called tasks and workers, that's confusing. So,
yeah, can't argue with you there.
All right. Well, I am going to be available for a little bit here. I do want to get back to work and put my head down and get some more work done. But I'm going to hang out for a little bit. If anybody's got any questions, this is pretty much the end of the AMA. Well, I've gone through my spiel, and I'll stay for as long as you guys have questions and I need some help. So, turning it over to you guys.